Today, a competitive congressional contest in the heart of Trump country. The president won the 7th district by 22 percentage points last year. The retiring Republican won by almost that much in the last 2 elections. But now, as voters head to the polls to fill that now vacant House seat, Republicans are pulling out all the stops to keep it red, including a tele-rally with the president and a visit from House Speaker Mike Johnson on election eve. Eva McKend is there. Eva, you spoke to the House Speaker while he was there last night. You were at a polling booth now. What are you seeing?
Well, Dana, the people that we have been speaking with are excited and really surprised to see their district receive this level of attention, a steady stream of voters all day today at this polling site in Nashville. And I can tell you this really cuts both ways. I spoke to a Tennessee woman, and she said that her friends in Pennsylvania have been reminding her to get out and vote today. And she feels excited about Afton Bain, about the affordability message, and really that a Democrat can win, she feels like, in a community like this one. But this is very different on the Republican side. It's also a motivation there. I spoke to a man in his 30s. He doesn't vote in many elections. He said he voted for Obama in 2008 and Trump last year in 2024. And it's all the ads that he has seen from Republicans elevating Bain's past comments that got him to come out today and vote for Matt Van Epps. Meanwhile, I asked Speaker Johnson about all this. Here's the exchange. Is this a warning sign for the GOP that you are barnstorming the state the first day back from Thanksgiving recess in a state that went 20 points for Trump, and you have to be here campaigning so hard?
No, ma'am, I did this all last year. We leave it all on the field no matter where the race is. He just happens to be the only race in the country right now, so he got my full attention.
But listen, Dana, Democrats are looking to flip the script in this community, even if Afton Bain loses this election, but not by much. Democrats hope that it means that they can elevate a different type of candidate in a community like this one, in purple communities or red districts, someone who has the background of a progressive organizer and maybe not necessarily a moderate centrist, which typically is the type of Democrat that they run in races like this one. Dana?
All right, Eva, thank you so much for that reporting. Appreciate it. And my smart reporters here at the table are back with me. Before we start discussing, I want to hear what President Trump said when he called into the tele-rally last night.
I won your state by 22 points. I won the area by something, I think, even more than that. So if it's like 2 points less than that, they'll say, oh, that's terrible. I guess Trump's losing his magic. But I think, I want Matt to do better than me even.
He always does the analysis for us, right? Like he's like getting in there. I mean, look, he's exactly right. If this is close, right, that will look bad on President Trump. And I think part of the reason that people will attribute it is to what he called the Democrat scam of affordability, right? That people are not feeling good about their pocketbooks. They're not feeling good when they're going, like, you know, when you're going out Christmas shopping and things seem more expensive, and like that gets to people, and that may play out in this race. And so, yes, on that, the president is exactly right. People will be looking at it.
I think he's underplaying, though, how big of a disaster it will be for Republicans if that margin is not bigger. I mean, he says if he loses by, or if he's down like 2% compared to the 22% that Trump had, then the headlines will be bad. Well, the polls show right now that he's only ahead by 2%. That's within the margin of error. He could still win, but if he has to squeak out a win, that is absolutely a bad sign politically for Trump and Republicans.
Yeah, and in fairness, Republicans I'm talking to who are involved in this race say a win is a win, and it is,
True that.
An embarrassment and a narrative doesn't allow for an extra seat in the House of Representatives, which is what they really want. Having said that, you're right, this is absolutely much closer than it should be. And one of the many fascinating dynamics going on here, Priscilla, is that the Democrat, even though this is obviously a red district, a little bit less so because they redrew it and put some more of Nashville into it, which we'll talk about in a second, but she is not moving to the middle. She's playing the progressive populist playbook hard, so much that she even had AOC come and campaign for her.
The very fact that we are here today and this race is so tremendously tight is a testament to how the American people are feeling in this moment. And I genuinely believe that we are at a time where people are increasingly recognizing that our fights are not left and right, but they are top and bottom.
Okay, but what's also been at the center of these populist messages, affordability, right, which ties in nicely with how we started the show and what the president said about affordability being a Democratic scam. That has been a message that the Democrat in Tennessee in this district has been pushing. It's something that we saw in New York as well. And so this, it's almost, the speaker said that he's been watching this closely, and that is part of the message that they are probably also watching, is how much does that resonate in addition to everything else, right? It's all the various other issues and the left's position on them. But the affordability piece is so critical and crucial, and we have seen that play out in other races this year, and this is going to be another test of that.
I just want to get to one other dynamic here, which is redistricting, which we've talked about so much, and the attempt by President Trump to, and we'll see if it's successful in Texas and other states, to redraw the maps in order to make more Republican districts. To do that, you have to dilute the really, really red districts. Well, guess what? That's exactly what Tennessee did in this district. It was like plus 30 something before, if you see that you see the way that they changed it. And plus 43 before. Now, because they redrew it and they added a little bit more of Nashville, it's plus 22, which is a huge GOP margin still. Sure. But it just shows the danger in what is known lovingly as dummy mandering.
I hadn't heard that one. It's just the irony of the redistricting push potentially backfiring on President Trump and Republicans is huge. California's, we've already discussed, has gotten it through. Texas is now a question mark. I thought it was really interesting in the last week that an Indiana lawmaker, after seeing the way that President Trump used a word that is a derogatory word, that he decided to vote against redistricting. I thought that was really fascinating. In general, there are a lot of pieces here that may not be going President Trump's way, including what you're just referring to.
Joining me now, Democratic strategist Amisha Cross and former senior advisor to the Trump 2024 campaign, Brian Lanza. Glad to have both of you here. And no, the word was not going to be rage bait, whatever it is. I'll talk about that later. That's the word of the year right now. Just telling you, but it's affordability for Democrats. So Amisha, why is Bain, do you think, doing so well right now in the prospects of being able to possibly, if not win, but close that gap where Trump won by like 20 points last year?
Because not only is she putting affordability front and center, she's also talking about the things that matter to people across the state of Tennessee, particularly those in Nashville, Davidson County, as well as the surrounding areas. Funding schools. We know that the big voucher debate and what came out of the Big Beautiful Bill Act matters to individuals in the city. She is localizing a lot of Trump's policies and showcasing just how dangerous they are. We know that rural hospitals matter, particularly in Tennessee. And when you're talking about people getting laid off, rural hospitals closing, that matters to them. Healthcare is one of the biggest businesses across the state of Tennessee. So I do think that she's leaning in on the issues that matter the most, in addition to the fact that at the end of the day, Republicans are largely trying to make this a culture war conversation, calling her, Tennessee's AOC. What she's leaning on is the things that matter to people the most, their pocketbook issues, whether or not they can afford to live in and around the city of Nashville. At this point, Nashville is the fastest growing city in America. But you know what is also growing really fast? Their rents, in addition to the cost of living broadly. So she's speaking to all of those issues, and it's bringing people into the fold who normally probably wouldn't give it a second look.
I do wonder, Trump's approval rating is at 36% right now. So you have to wonder why, if he's so unpopular, Democrats aren't performing even better, say, in a race like this. But I wonder if it's who's endorsing and who's going to bat for you. Because Speaker Johnson, he rallied for Van Epps. Trump only did these tele-town halls. Why do you think that is? And how, if the Republican candidate loses, what would be the impact on not only the kingmaker notion of Trump, but also on Republicans more broadly for a special election?
You know, I would point out, you say he's at 33%. He's not at 33% in the district. He's about at 50% in the district. He's 33% nationally. Huge distinction. Listen, it would be an earthquake if the Democrats won that race. It's an earthquake if it's going to get within single digits.
Really?
But it's also the canary in the coal mine, right? It is a warning to Republicans that somebody who has no chance of winning under normal circumstances, that if she hits the right message, and that message is affordability, you're going to cut through all the noise, you're going to cut through all the social issues that have been disruptive in the previous election cycles, and you're going to hit a target, and she's hitting that target. Now, what I've noticed in the ads before is that actually nobody mentions Trump.
Right.
He doesn't mention Trump, the Republican doesn't mention Trump. They talk
Does
about
that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. It surprised me that the Democrats aren't mentioning Trump, because Trump is the most rallying figure in the Democratic Party. That does surprise me. So to me, it says they figured out that that dog doesn't hunt anymore, and they actually need to talk about issues, which is affordability.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.